So I'll just introduce myself a little, just to give you a little bit more of a background so that you know who I am. So I'm a transformational relationship and divorce coach. I am a certified Calling in the One coach, which is a program over 500,000 men and women have used to find love, either just, you know, from the start of life, or, you know, post-divorce, separation, etc., etc. I'm also a transpersonal psychotherapist, a bereavement counselor, and I'm trained in heart math, which is a technique for transforming stress and anxiety. So I've got about 25 years experience in personal development, coaching, and therapeutic skills. So I hope you feel like you're in good hands. I've been divorced twice as well. So I've been there, I've done it. I got divorced for the second time 10 years ago, and it completely devastated me. I had very small children at the time, and I just got engaged last Christmas. I'm 3 years into a beautiful, lovely relationship now, and so I just wanted to share that, because I always think it's nice to know who is this person that's going to talk to us and share information with us. So I hope that gives you a little bit of comfort.
Thank you, Maxine. So the first question we've got here, we've got a Frolo looking for tips for dealing with divorce when you and your partner are unable to communicate.
Yes, communication. So without knowing the background, I think there's a couple of things that are really important and that I like to share, you know, in terms of divorce. We make everything personal, doesn't it? It feels very personal when someone is angry with us, when someone's upset, when someone doesn't want to communicate with us. Now, we don't know the background behind this, but the key is, if you cannot make what the other person says or does, in other words, their behavior, if you can think to yourself, this isn't actually personal, it is about them. So the way someone behaves is about them. Your response to that behavior is about you. And that is the part where you can learn something about yourself and learn new ways of relating. So when someone is being particularly difficult, it often stems from the fact that they might be angry, sad, frustrated. They'll have a lot of difficult emotions. And it could be a long-term pattern of behavior that they're quite difficult, etc., etc. And guaranteed, if you had difficulties in the marriage and you broke down because of communication issues, unless someone actually gets help, then their communication skills are not going to change. So how can you best deal with this? Yeah. What I always say is step back, like literally take a step back, do some breathing, find your center and get clear about what it is that you want. In other words, what is the communication really about? See if you can stick to facts. So often what happens when we're communicating, and particularly around divorce and breakup and etc., we can want to blame people. We want, you know, particularly if we're the one that's angry or we're the one that's upset, we might want to blame the other person because we feel that they've hurt us, they've harmed us, etc., etc. The problem with that is it keeps you in a feeling or like a place like you're a victim. So if you can just step back and go, okay, hold on, what is it that I really want? What is my communication really about? And get clarity about that. And see if you see, because underneath every communication, there is a need. Yeah, you need something or you want something to happen. So see if you can get clear about the way you request that. So in other words, I need or I require, and stick as much as possible to the facts around that communication as opposed to what you necessarily think about them. So in other words, if we're blaming the other person or we're saying, you make me feel, or you did this, what tends to happen is it creates automatically a defense mechanism in the other person. So you're not necessarily going to get, I mean, I do a lot of work around having a very healthy divorce, yeah? But if the other person has traits of narcissism, if they really are difficult and they don't want to work in that divorce process with you, with end results. So in other words, if you haven't set up already an intention at the beginning of, okay, how do we want this? If you've got children, so everyone on here has got children. So, you know, if you're going to say, look, if you can get at the beginning an intention where we want to honor the children, yes, our relationship has broken down, whatever has happened in between, let us make it our intention to always put the children first and to be kind and considerate and thoughtful. Let's see if when we communicate, we can just be very clear about what the end result is of that communication, what we need to have happen that's going to support the children, or, you know, you both as parents, yeah? And by doing that, that can really help to not let things get too personal, because the relationship is already broken down. You're not trying to mend the relationship. What your aim is to just have clear communication. And I always say it starts with us. So what I mean by that is the energy, like how we feel as we go into that communication, will affect the communication. Does that make sense?
Sorry, I just had to take off my mute button. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, if we go into that conversation feeling angry, I would suggest you do the work on that. What are you angry about? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before you respond, you know, when I say taking a breath and stepping back, almost like you're the observer, what tends to happen, particularly when we're the one that's feeling hurt, when we feel angry or aggrieved, and it may be, like, quite rightly, you may have the right to feel like that. But if you're carrying that into your communication, I don't know if the person that asked this question's on here to have a little bit more clarity, but if you're carrying that in and you always like approach the conversation with your anger, with your frustration, that energy will be carried into the end result. So what I always say is, see if you can do some work about that first. What am I angry about? What do I really want here? What do I really need to have happen? And, you know, it's a little bit like, actually, you can, with children, you've got to pick your battles with children, haven't you? Like, you can't argue over everything. So know what your values are, know what's most important to you, and ask yourself the question, like, what do I really want to have happen here? What is my end result? I don't know if you know, but the way we think and feel about anything will affect what we create. So when you are in a more, when you have a more positive outlook, yeah, you can actually help shape and change your reality by the way you think and feel about how that's going to impact you. Yeah. So that's what I would say. And the most important thing is get clarity. What do you want? What are you willing to negotiate around? Yeah. And, you know, if someone is constantly, you know, I've got no context for this, so I'm just going to sort of like throw a few things out there. But if someone is constantly maybe not showing up for their parental, you know, the times, or they're always changing the times of arrangements, or they're not paying maintenance on time, or, you know, they say they're going to be here this weekend and then they don't turn up those weekends. If it's those type of things, then see if you can set some clear boundaries. And clear boundaries always start with, what do I need? Let me make that request clearly, and then remaining firm on your boundary. Like, don't change it. If you said no, you can't come in the house, then, you know, don't change yourself, because it's always got to be based on your own values. Yeah. Brilliant. Is that helpful? Does anyone need some more clarity around that? Has anyone got any questions around that? No? Okay.
Okay, so staying on the subject of divorce for now, there is a Frolo looking for tips on how to manage anxiety throughout the divorce process.
Okay, yeah. Divorce, you know, up there with bereavement, is one of the most stressful things that you will go through. So there's certain things that will trigger anxiety. So certain types of food can trigger anxiety. Too much caffeine, too much alcohol. When your body's in a state of stress or anxiety, what's happening is your body is producing higher amounts of adrenaline and cortisol. Yeah. So you can change. So they're hormones, yeah, that your body produces. And one of the simplest things you can do is actually you can make like a little square, and in one corner, write what is the most common emotion that you feel that is a stressful emotion. So if it's fear, anxiety, stress, what you want to do is you want to actually ask yourself, what are the thoughts that are associated with that? Because the way you think will affect the way you feel. If you notice that there is a common emotion and a common thought, then it's really about doing some work around what that's coming up for you. Like your divorce is going to bring stuff up so that you can clear it and heal it. Yeah. So look at what is the most common emotion. Is there a trigger? So in other words, do you get stressed in a certain place? You know, is it when you're looking after your children on your own? Is it when you think you've got work things? What is the association to the stress? Okay. So you can do some, if you're someone that gets anxious when you're actually out, or in like you have all the physical symptoms of stress and anxiety in your body, there is one technique which is really, really good. So literally slow down your breathing, breathe a little bit slower and a little bit deeper to the count of 5. Hold your breath for a few moments and then release that breath for the count of 5. And repeat that a few times, like 3 to 4 times. What you will be doing in that moment is you will be slowing your heart rate and you will be activating a anti-aging hormone called DHEA. Yeah. And that will neutralize the amount of cortisol and adrenaline that's in your body. And what you can do once you've just done that, you can then, it's called the 5 technique. You focus on 5 things in the room around you. So look in the room around you now and notice 5 things and literally count them. Say 1, lamp, 2, carpet, so notice 5 things. Then what you do is you see 4 things that you can touch. Your arm, and actually if you touch like your arm or your body, your legs, your head, just things that you can touch. 3 things that you can hear outside of yourself. Oh, I can hear the traffic. I can hear a dog barking. 2 things that you can smell. My perfume. Flowers. Yeah. And then 1 thing that you can taste. When you take yourself down through those 5 senses, the first thing you're doing then is you're taking yourself away from your thoughts. And you're actually getting into your body, slowing yourself down. And it's a really simple technique because it's literally 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you get back to the 1, nice deep breath in and release. Okay, what do I need to focus on? Whatever you focus on expands in life. So when we focus on problems, guess what? I hate to say it, but we get more of them. It's like, it is a truth. That is a divine truth. When we focus on problems, we get more of them. And most of the time when we're going through a divorce or a separation, where is our focus? On the other person, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And depending where you are in that process, if you're very newly separated or broken up, you could be constantly focusing on that other person. And what that does is you're literally, think of yourself like a balloon of energy. Yeah. If all that energy in that balloon is going to the other person, what is left for you?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. You feel depleted, you feel worried, you feel stressed, anxious. Yeah. So I want you to think about, what is it that I need? Because I guarantee you, if you're feeling really anxious and stressed, you're focusing on things outside of your control. So again, bring it back in. What can I control today? And I know like there's a tendency for us to think way ahead. What about this year, next year, 2 years, 10 years, when the kids are this? Will I ever meet anyone again? Will I fall in love? I can't do, you know, bring it into the now, into the moment. What can I focus on today? What can I focus on in this hour? Yeah. How can I love myself and take better care of myself? Because I guarantee you, if you start put that question on your fridge, what can I do today to love myself? When you start bringing it back to you, you will be spending less of your energy on that other person. Yeah. And you'll start to be able to really create the life you want. Yeah. So I hope that's helpful. And the other thing I would say about the anxiety, so I'm a coffee, I love coffee. If you know that you're drinking coffee all day, stop it. Like, just don't do it to yourself. Yeah. So eat green leafy vegetables, get outside and exercise, because exercise, even if it's just really good walking, getting in nature, grounding in nature, they are all things that will help you with that stress in the body. And because so often as single parents, I know when my 2 kids were young, we feel like we have no time for us. If you really have no time for you, you have to make time, whether it's getting up half an hour earlier and running on the spot in your bedroom or whatever you can do. Yeah, a bit of yoga. This will all help you to support and nurture yourself. You are the number one priority of loving yourself, because then you'll have more for your kids. Yeah. Hope that didn't sound like a lecture.
No, it's really helpful. Thank you. So I've got another one here. Frolo has commented, I feel like I won't be in the right mindset to meet anyone before my kids are over 18 and at uni. Being a solo parent full-time dictates most of my days. I don't want to spend any less time with my children for a man. I don't see how I could possibly fit another person into our busy lives.
Yeah, okay. Totally understand. And so we don't know where this person is in the process. What's obvious to me from that comment is this person has not done any work on healing. Look, divorce hurts. It's actually what I call an insult to our ego. Whether you were the person that decided this relationship is not working for me anymore, or whether someone decided that they wanted it, and usually most breakups are not that mutual. Yeah, there's always one person that probably wants to work at the relationship more. So it can be our ego literally is the part of us that wants safety, security, certainty, and does not like change. Yeah. So when we go, do you know what? This is what's happening, and I need to do the work to heal whatever is coming up in me. That is where you find your freedom. That is where, so this person, I know that when my husband, he was having numerous affairs, and when I found out, I was just like, oh my God. And I was so madly in love with him. I was like, well, we can work on this, we can sort it out. We were both in the coaching industry and knew lots and lots of people that could help us. And he just didn't want to do the work. So I was really gutted, and my kids were young. And I remember thinking there's just no way I'm ever going to meet anybody and have a stream of men coming into their lives. So I totally understand that. And I would say, do the work on healing, because when you do the work on healing, what you realize is that this woman, or I'm presuming she's a woman actually, because I think she used her or whatever. But what happens is when you feel whole inside and you know that 1, you're lovable, 2, that you're worthy of great love, 3, that you set yourself really good, healthy boundaries and standards, you will attract a relationship with someone who is going to honor you and therefore be an asset to your life and a support in your life, as opposed to someone who's going to take. So the assumption from this person is that anyone that's coming into her life is going to take. And my guess is that she's had a relationship with a taker, with somebody who has not given a lot of value, a lot of love, etc., etc. So that is where the work needs to be done there on her own or his own healing, so that that person can go out and attract and create like a juicy, gorgeous, loving soul partner who's in the relationship for for not just to get something from you, but to be there and to give and to give. And where someone holds your heart and says, I love your heart so much, I'm going to treasure it and take care of it and adore you and love you and be honorable towards you. Whether that's a man or a woman that says that, that's what you want in a relationship. So yeah, totally understand, but do the work, do some work of healing. And I guarantee you that will change.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
So the next one, Frolo's commented, I'm so lonely as a single parent, but my confidence is so low due to weight gain. I really want to be a nice bloke, but I'm too embarrassed with how I look. Any advice?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I think, wow, great awareness. She recognizes she's lacking confidence, and that confidence is lacking because she feels like she's put on weight. And we all tend to judge ourselves. I think we're all probably our biggest critics. I don't know about you lot, but I'm my worst critic around things like that. So what I would say is, there's inner and outer confidence. So, we can have our hair cut, we can dress nice, and we can feel really confident. And then there's that thing called inner confidence, where you really are embodying confidence. So firstly, how do you want to feel in your body? How would you like your body to be? So don't try and fix your body for somebody else to be loved. Work on your body so that you love yourself. So in other words, like if you want to feel more energized, then work on that. Work on changing your body shape for that, not in order to get someone to love you. And I would say that really she knows that, we're wise beyond words, everybody. We know the answer to our problems. She knows she needs to do some exercise and maybe change her diet. So let's talk about how we can set about new habits, because as I said, the ego does not like change. Yeah. And the ego will trick us in many, many, many ways to sabotage our new way of being. Yeah. So first of all, and this goes for everything, whether you're looking for a relationship, whether you want to change your body, whether you're looking for a new home, whether you want a new job, get a vision. What do you really desire? So, talking around weight, what weight would you love to be? Yeah. And take it one day at a time. Don't, there's so much, it's frustrating around the whole diet and health industry. There's so much information out there. You can just go into overload of knowing what to do. So I would say start small with a very small habit. We do know that if we drink more water, if we eat more vegetables, if we drop the sugary stuff, yeah, have good fats and exercise, that if we just start small to implement some of those things, and the best way you can implement them, a new habit, is you sandwich it between a habit that already exists. So here's a simple way of doing this. You want to drink more water. Every time you go into the kitchen, you got kids, you're single parents, you must go and tidy up a lot. Go and have a glass of water. So like you do the new thing in between something. So I'm guessing you all wash your face and you have a shower in the morning and brush your teeth. Yeah. Or you all get up and then you go and do something. That might be an ideal time for you to sandwich in a new habit, whether that's having hot water and lemon, helps to flush out and detox your body. Yeah. At the end of the day, when the kids are gone to bed, maybe that could be your time to do a 20-minute video. And let's face it, these days, you can find everything you need online on YouTube. You don't even have to pay for a subscription, do you? Go to Joe Wicks. He was, helping everybody out in lockdown.
So true. There's so much online. Yeah.
So set yourself a small target. Don't make it big and outreachable and then you sabotage it, and do it one day at a time. Yeah. And most importantly, if she said she felt embarrassed about how she looks, okay, so what would she rather feel? How would she like to feel when she goes on those dates? Change and vision is all about the energy of the end result. How do you want to feel? And the more clearer you get about that, the easier it is. You have to keep focusing on that. So I remember once, actually, when I was a lot younger, I haven't done this in a long, long time, but I remember I wanted to have this amazing body. And so I took a picture of Elle Macpherson and I put my face on top of the picture and I stuck it on the fridge. Yeah. And every time I went to the fridge, because let's face it, that's where we go, or stick it on your cupboard with your snacks if if you buy snacks, yeah. Every time I went to it, it's called a pattern interrupt. It interrupted my pattern because I looked at that picture and I thought, oh yeah, I want to feel good and I want to feel energized. I want to have like a nice, fit, healthy body in a bikini. Yeah, that was my vision. So then it stopped me. And then go and have a glass of water, because I guarantee most of the time when we think we're hungry, yeah, we want water will fill us up. And one other thing I would say about this is eating is a way of suppressing emotions. So if you haven't dealt with the emotions, you know, like the sadness, the loneliness, guaranteed we eat when we feel lonely. What we do is we eat as a way of pushing down the emotions so we don't have to feel it. You have to learn how to be with the big, difficult emotions. When you learn that, you'll find because emotions, any emotion, is energy in your body that's trying to move through you. And emotions get stuck in our body. And if we eat our emotions, guess what? We put on weight. So I would actually say, and also men and women, but particularly women, tend to have a lot of midriff issues, and it's actually protection. If we've been hurt in love, we usually put on weight as a way of protecting ourselves so that we don't attract a partner in because we feel we're going to get hurt again. So could be also related to, I mean, there's layers of all this stuff, you know. We don't have enough time to go through it all tonight, but I hope that's helpful.
Really helpful, thank you. And then the next question, so another Frolo has commented about kind of post-divorce, now feeling a bit down as he made the decision in the summer to start dating but hasn't found a partner. You know, he's met lots of nice people along the way, but is just feeling unlucky, you know, because he was ready to move on. And then obviously the pandemic has hit, which has affected all of our dating plans.
Yes, lockdown dating. Okay, yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple of issues here. So I can go into some tips, but before I go into tips around dating and dating profiles and things, dating does a couple of things. It brings up your stuff. Yeah. If your divorce hasn't brought up your stuff and you've worked on it, dating will bring up your stuff because we feel rejection. We feel we're not good enough. We feel, gosh, there's so many people. Why doesn't anyone approach or why do I get the people that I don't like approaching me and the people I'm interested in not approaching me? That happens all the time. Why am I getting all these people and they don't respond to me? Yeah. It brings up our stuff. So you have to learn how to be or how to transform disappointment. When we feel disappointed, and I don't want to go into too deep here, but there's inside every adult, there is a young boy and a young girl who hasn't had their needs met. Yeah. We go into relationship trying unconsciously without awareness to get those needs met. We fall in love and we don't get our needs met and we feel resentment, we withdraw, etc., etc. And then the marriage breaks down and then we start dating again, hoping that we're going to get it fixed. Yeah. So the one thing you can learn is when you get disappointed, ask yourself this question: what do I need? What am I feeling and what do I need? Because underneath that disappointment, there is a little boy or a little girl who literally, the emotion you're feeling then in that moment is not really about that person. Because let me tell you this, that person hasn't met you yet. They don't know anything about you. They don't know whether you're amazing, gorgeous. They don't know whether you're hard work or difficult, whether you're moody. They haven't met you. So it's not about you. Yeah. So next time that person hasn't said yes to you on that dating profile, ask yourself, what is my disappointment really about? Because the more you can clear that, then the more freer you will be, the less attached you're going to be to that person online who has not even met you yet and doesn't know anything about you. Yeah. We are meaning making machines, and we always make it up based about ourselves in relation to everything. Yeah. We've been doing that. That's how our ego's formed in the first place. So what am I upset about? What am I making it mean? And then the next question, what do I need? Yeah. Can I give that to myself? So in other words, someone's not interested. I really need some connection. Okay, how can I create connection? Maybe it's a little bit more difficult, has been difficult during lockdown. I can call a friend. I can meditate. I can do some, like, how can you meet that need for yourself, or how can you ask or make that request clearly to somebody else? Yeah, in your support system, in your support bubble, etc. I guarantee you the meaning that you're giving it. So in other words, you want to find empowered meaning. Yeah. And so for this, I think it was this gentleman, I saw the post here about this. He was saying that he's very happy that his previous partner had moved on, etc., which is wonderful. That in itself is a wonderful place to be, because your energy and your vibration around that is good. It's clear. Yeah. So I would start focusing on, what do you love? What do you enjoy? The more you are happy and joyful doing stuff that you love and you enjoy, you are filling yourself. Think of that balloon again. You're filling that balloon up and radiating like better vibes, basically. And this leads into the thing about your profile. So I'm going to share some tips, if that's okay, around profiles that generally get people stuck. So, and I'll lead with that thing that we were just talking about, like your energy. I have clients send me their profiles all the time, and it always amazes me. I'll know the client because I've been coaching them, and I'll say, send me your profile and send me your pics and let me have a little look. Often the profile pictures show no real energy about who you are. Yeah. We know that, like, in the whole dating thing, we look, and if you're on a app, you're either left, right, very quick. Your energy needs to come off on those pictures, so what do you love? Are you showing like something you love about yourself in those pictures? I remember a client sent me her pictures once, and I was like, she had her sunglasses on in all the pictures. I'm like, well, what are you hiding? Like, they can't see your eyes. You're beautiful. Like, you've got these most amazing eyes. Your energy, your life sparkles through that. So you want to think about your profile picture and say, what energy is it being exuded? Yeah. And if you don't have any pictures that show you with energy or vibration, get a friend to take them. Get your children to take them if they're old enough to use a camera well, Put yourself in an environment where you look and feel good and take some pictures. Because otherwise what's usually happening, and this is, I haven't really gone into this, but, if we haven't met someone, it's because somewhere in our belief system, we don't believe either we're going to meet someone, we believe we're going to get hurt. Like, I'm talking about if you've been actively trying to meet people. There's something in you that says it's not possible. I think I read one of the comments, and I just sort of, as soon as I read it, if we're afraid and we're thinking men are cheaters, women are cheaters, they're liars, can't trust them. it's going to be a waste of my energy and time. I'm going to get nothing from this. If that is what you're coming to the dating world with, what do you think you're going to create? We create through the way we think and feel. Life happens through you, not to you. I don't want to go too spiritual here, but you're divine beings that are very powerful. You're always creating. Whether you're creating consciously or unconsciously is going to affect the results. So most of the time, I know myself, when I was dating in the first 5 years of my divorce, I was so afraid I was going to get hurt again because, if I told you the whole story, it was just shocking. So I would go on dates, go on dates. I'd always be looking for what was wrong with the person. For starters, all these things. I'm looking for what was wrong so that I could give myself enough reason. I met lots of lovely, amazing people. But this is the thing, you want to look at what is it that's wrong and then ask yourself, well, what is being reflected back to me? Life is a mirror. Yeah. What is being reflected back to me? How can I take responsibility? So that's really about your energy, your vibration. What are you going to the thing with? So for profile picture. The other thing I notice is you are not trying to attract everyone. Yeah. You're looking for one person. One person. You exist, so they exist. Yeah. One person. When you write your dating profile, be led by the vision. So what I mean by this is, if you're someone that really likes adventure, like that's the energy you want to put into your dating profile, and you want to talk about that, because the person who likes adventure that you want to spend time with, loves that, will be captivated by that. Whatever it is that you say, I can't say it for you. So like, for instance, people will be very generic. They'll go, I love traveling. Well, everybody loves traveling, especially after lockdown. We're all going to love traveling, yeah? But if you said, when I was traveling in Peru and I climbed up Machu Picchu and I saw the light shining through the trees and it made me want to paint it, that is completely different, isn't it? You see? Now, the person that reads that is going to go, wow, that person sounds really interesting. Much more interesting than the person that said, I like traveling on the picture before. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's not a competition, but you want to share some of your heart in that profile. And the main reason we don't share ourselves is because we're afraid. We're afraid we're going to get hurt. We haven't recovered from our previous heartache, and we're looking to date to try and fix our inner problems, to try and get the love that we're not giving ourselves. You might say, oh, I really love my job. Okay, well, what do you love about your job? So if someone said to me, what do you love about your job? I go, oh, do you know what? I feel like a proud parent sometimes when my clients, get that divorce and they're happier with themselves and they find new love and they find that dream home of their own, and they're confident to go out there and get that job. I feel like a proud parent because I love it when my clients have these breakthroughs and they step into their power. That is not, I love my job, is it? So think about, if you've got dating profiles, yeah, go back and look at them with a kind and compassionate heart towards yourself, yeah, and ask yourself, how can I share some of my heart in this? Like the person that I want to meet, yeah, that's going to be really interested in my heart and my soul. What do I need to share about myself that's going to ignite that interest? Yeah. And the other thing is, I noticed that we can be really serious in this thing. Going back to the, we kind of like are trying to date everyone and we don't really have a vision of what we want. Get some clarity, like step into that vision. What would your ideal day look like? What would your ideal life look like with this person? Don't get fixated on what they're going to look like or how tall they're going to be, or that they've got to be a Sagittarian or a Piscean, etc. Because I guarantee you, your partner will not come in the shape or the size or the way that you think they're going to be, especially if it's a soul partner you're looking for, yeah? I mean, if you're just looking for people to go on date with, then that's fine. But, I'm talking about soul relationships here. You really want to align yourself with, like, your highest vision. What would you really love to have? You know, I actually, you know, I met my partner on New Year's Eve 3 years ago. And when I met him, he was very, very tall, like way, way taller than me. I almost thought, God, this guy's way too tall. And he had the worst pair of shoes on that I've ever seen on anybody, right? And I'm quite, you know, I like to think I'm quite cool and trendy and all this sort of thing. And it was so funny because halfway through the day, I actually said to him, where did you get your shoes from? Now, a lot of people wouldn't do that, but I'm really very honest and I can be really upfront. And I said it like, I didn't say it nastily. And he laughed and he said, I knew you were going to comment on these shoes. And he was wearing them because he was gone walking with his daughter. I said, yeah, but you've still got these shoes in your wardrobe. I've never seen them in 3 years. I've been dating him. The point I'm making, is be yourself. When you go on dates, be yourself, okay? And actually, I'm going to give some tips here around the whole texting thing, because most of our life is spent either on messaging and texting. Most of the time we play what we call tennis, table tennis in the conversation stakes, Now, there's a man on here, so he might not, there's a couple of men on here actually. Fantastic, we've got 3 men on here. Okay, fantastic. So, now, men, whether you know it or not, you want a woman to crack your heart open and help you to feel. Whether you know that or not, that is the truth of it, So, when you get text backs that have no emotion, now I'm not talking about whiny emotions, but where someone is not expressing any feeling, it can feel a little bit like, particularly if you're, you know, an alpha male, you're really, really busy and you're in your head all day, you want to have a little bit of feeling in those texts, So don't just automatically bing, like tennis ball a comment back. You want to say something about how you feel. You know, even if you're excited about going on the date, you want to be sharing something a little bit more than, yep, see you later. And I'm not saying you have to be like, I'm not talking about going into long, you know, emotional texts here, but I'm saying about sharing a little bit about, you know, your feelings about your day, etc., because I guarantee you it will help you to connect on a more deeper level. We are human beings. We want to feel things. I'm not saying you need to share every single emotion that you have, but you need to be a little bit more open and expressive. We want to feel. We all want to feel. And particularly if you've got someone who's very busy in their head all day and someone shares, you know, I can't think of exact text right now. I think I said to my fiance the other day, I said something along the line, I texted him, you know, I've got butterflies in my stomach, can't wait to see you. I haven't seen him for 4 days, you know. And he's like, oh, that's such a, you know, that really touched me, like really nice message. We've got to be a little bit more, I'm not saying necessarily if you haven't met the person yet, you're sort of sharing all this, but the point is be yourself. Don't try to be what you think the other person wants you to be. That's often the mistake that we make. How are we doing so far? How are we doing for time?
Perfect. No, this is all really, really valuable. Thank you.
Okay. And then I think we'll open up people some questions. But the other thing I want to say, the first date, if you get to the first date thing, it's not for you to see, is this person my one and only? You know, we put so much pressure on dating. It's to see, do I like this person? Can I have fun with them? Are they fun? You know, what do you want to find out about that person? I hear it so often from my female clients that they go on, sorry guys, I'm sure this is not you men, because you're amazing, but they go on dates and they don't get asked anything about themselves. That date is not for you to hash over your past relationships. If you're doing that, you need to go to therapy or get a coach or go have some counseling, The date is for you to see if there are genuine interests. Ask, you know, if you're nervous, if you get nervous on dates, swat up on some questions beforehand and practice them in a mirror or something, you know, just like do whatever you need to do to support yourself, because dating can create a lot of anxiety for people. And if I'd actually say just drop any attachment to it being the person, the one and only person for you, because when you do that, then you just open yourself up to get to know someone. Like, be open to find out about that person lovingly, kindly, compassionately, yeah, and make it fun. There's nothing worse than going on a date and being interviewed. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say for now. Has anyone got some questions? Any questions?
No. I think we might have covered everything then.
Yeah, no one's got any dating questions.
Sorry, Maxine. It's not really a question that I think. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, go for it. I'm sure if you.
But I think the thing is, like, for me, I think there's so much time spent in the communication before you even get to that first date, and I find that. And I'm a real sociable people person, but I find that quite exhausting. That it feels like you put a lot of investment before you even get. But
okay,
it's hard, isn't it? Because
that's a brilliant one. So this is my strategy that I've used and I get my clients to use all the time, and it works really well. You only have, especially as single parents, like, you only have a certain amount of time. You do not want to time waste your energy. Yeah. And also, you know, I hate to say it, but a lot of people are lonely. So what happens is they use the dating apps as a way of just chatting to people with no real intention of actually going out on dates, etc., etc. So this is what I do, or this is what I tell my clients to do, and this is what I used to do. Okay, so depending what you're dating through, apps. If it's more, I mean, I personally recommend a paid service. I think, yes, I know people have met, on dating apps like Tinder, and I think Hinge is a good one, Bumble, etc., or whatever. I personally recommend a paid dating service, because anyone that's invested some money is more likely interested in actually long-term finding a partner. Yeah. So I would have the first sort of 24 hours emailing or texting. And then I would actually, if you like the sound of that person, you've had some good exchanges and it fit, you generally sort of think, blah, blah, I'd actually have a phone conversation with that person. One, because if someone doesn't want to get on the phone with you, they're probably a time waster. Two, if you're anything like me, the sound of someone's voice could be would have been a deal breaker for me, just because I like the way someone sounds. So you want to be able to hear that person, you want to see and you could feel something in their energy in that exchange. Yeah. And then I would, obviously I know it's depending on the age of your children and also lockdown. So what I would suggest then, if you feel like, you two feel like you want to go on a date, you either arrange a date and etc. You arrange for that date, or if it's lockdown, I would have the Zoom date. Like, literally, you can tell a lot about someone on a Zoom call. You know, you can still do your hair and makeup, put on a nice shirt, put on a nice blouse, have a glass of wine if you feel like you need that. Have a Zoom date. I guarantee you, if someone is not interested in dating, they will not turn up for the Zoom date. Yeah. And remember, if they don't turn up for the Zoom date, is that about you or is that about them? Yeah, them, yeah, because they haven't met you yet. They don't know how amazing you are or how annoying you are. Like, they know nothing about you. Yeah. So, and you want to say to someone, you can say to someone, and this goes back to boundaries, like knowing what you want. You can say to someone, and I haven't been on that apps for obviously a long time, but they probably still have that thing where you sort of say whether you're looking for fun, or they normally have a thing almost like a rating type thing. Are you looking for long-term relationship? If you're looking for you might not be looking for long-term relationship. You might be just want to find friends, etc., which is also fine, but just be upfront about that if that's what you want. About that.
I've got enough friends, but thanks.
So you're ideally looking for a potential long-term relationship. So you don't want to waste your time and your energy. No. Absolutely. And now, and I would say, like, the more boundaried you are, like I was very boundaried. I would just, you know, if I felt it was a waste of time, I would say, do you know what? Thank you so much. You seem like a really lovely guy, but I'm not feeling the energy, or I just, be really nice, be really polite, wish you the best, and then move on. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I've gone wrong. I've carried on talking, and now that you say that, I think about a guy I was talking to, not recently, but just kind of mid-message, I guess, when he didn't have his kids, and it's kind of like you say, just filling space, isn't it? For some people, it's just a way of communicating. Wanting to take it further.
Yeah, and you know what? I get this a lot. A lot of my clients talk to me about this. They'll be texting someone, and they'll be getting all the morning texts, and it's nice. We like to feel special, don't we? Yeah. So, you text with people, but there's a bit of you that knows that it's not really going anywhere. And I tell you why this is actually really important. You are always sending a message out to the universe. Yeah. You're always saying yes or no to things.
Yeah.
When you are wasting your time and energy on a relationship that is not going anywhere, you are sending the message out there that you're not valuable, that your time isn't valuable, that your time is worth nothing. Yeah. And this happens a lot. I get this a lot with clients, where what will happen is they'll start dating someone, and this is the other thing. Look, without sort of going into the whole sex thing, if you date and you sleep with someone very quickly before they have had the opportunity of showing you who they are as a person, men and women included here, you will be invested in that relationship. Yeah? Because the minute you are intimate with someone, you are more invested in making it work. Now, if you don't know who that person really is, and you haven't had the real opportunity to get to know this person, do they stand by their word? Do they have integrity? Are they honorable? Do they have high values? What are their values? What are they interested in? Where do they see themselves in 10, 15 years' time? Do you have a shared vision that you could come together on? Yeah. If you invest yourself physically, intimately, give them your body, or man gives his body to you, and etc. In that moment, what will happen is you will be more likely to stay when you know it's not really what you want. And it's the same thing. That's the longer version of it. And the shorter version of that is that when we know that it's not really for us, but we keep doing the texting because we're trying to fill the loneliness or the void inside us, what happens in that is we just waste our energy, and we won't open our world to the potential person that's walking down the road because we're too busy on this one. Yeah, you've heard about it, all those times when people stay in relationships because they're too afraid to be on their own. Mr. or Mrs. Right could have been walking past them, but they haven't let go of the past, so they're not even open to receiving what is available to them.
Thankfully, that's not me. I can recognise that.
Yeah, good. Well done. That's brilliant that you can recognise. Awareness is the key to change. So if you've got the awareness about that. So, and the other thing I say, this often happens, people do, some inner work, and then their past comes on a date with them. And they go, I've done all this work on myself. Why have I met this person? It's a test. It's a test to see whether or not you're going to hold your boundaries, stay true to your worth and your value, your self-respect, your self-love for yourself. If you dated a lot of narcissistic men or women in the past, you will get another one that come so that you can say no to it. So you can recognize it, say no to it, value and honor yourself. Yeah. So I hope that's helpful. And that was a great question, Nina. Thank you.
No, that's really helpful, because that's the debate I have with kind of family, especially. But you haven't really given it a proper shot. And I say, well, it depends on what you class as a proper shot. And now that you've kind of instilled about the boundaries, it's kind of made me recognise more, I haven't been so strict with the boundaries. That's the difference. I've probably been too nice to let the conversation continue.
Yeah, yeah, because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. So you want to learn a good, healthy way to say no to someone, because I guarantee you probably have other areas in your life where you find it difficult to say no.
Yeah, we all do, don't we?
Exactly. Yeah. So learn to say no with kindness is my favorite motto. Saying no with kindness.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for the question. That helps everybody else as well. Any other questions?
No. Okay, well, think then, unless Maxine, you had anything else you wanted to add.
Let me just have a look at my notes. Was there anything else? So, yeah, I think the only other thing I was going to say is that, you know, when you're dating, come at it from like a joyous place. If you're in survival mode, then guaranteed you'll be in that lack mode, which means you won't get anything that you want showing up. So you really want to come to it with a sense of, you know, possibility, like hope and possibility. And if you're not coming to it from that place, then do some work on yourself, do some inner work. You know, I really recommend the book the coaching that I'm in, Calling in the One. You can work on that book on your own. It's a 7-week, and it's a very in-depth book. And when you do the coaching with it, then you go obviously a lot deeper, and we do lots of different processes and exercises. But if you're interested in doing some self-study and some personal development, it's a great starting. It really is a great, you know, you can start on your own. You could always work with a coach if you want to, but you don't have to. And value yourself. You're gorgeous. You're amazing. You're incredible single parents and people. And yeah, someone is lucky to have you. You're the prize. Yeah. Remember that. You are the prize.
I think that's an excellent way to end this, actually.
Yeah.
I love that.
Good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Maxine. Really appreciate that. It was really valuable. I know I took a lot from it, and I hope everyone else did too.
Good. My absolute pleasure. I hope that's helpful. And yeah, if you've got any comments, you can always, I'm in the app anyway, so you can always find me in the app and ask me questions. I'm more than happy to answer questions.
Can you share the link, Maxine, on what you just said? Because I know it's different, but I've done some life and career coaching this year, so I'd be really interested to find out about what you're saying about this program.
Yeah, so the book is called Calling in the One.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
and can I share my website if people want to go to me? Yeah, so if you want to find out about it through me, it's MaxineClancy.com. Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, or you can I'm in the app, so you can always message me in the app. But it's a very good book. You can get it on Amazon, and you can definitely start to do some work on yourselves. Fantastic. Is there someone in the chat asking a question? Let's just have a little look. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Well, thank you so much for everyone for joining us. And thank you again, Maxine. That was wonderful.
My pleasure. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Take care. Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.